welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 116. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Lukowski and Liam McKelvey. Sorry for the delay, everybody.
Yep. We're sorry.
Yeah.
We're here.
Too busy.
You know what, yeah. Januaries are like this, aren't they? It's the longest month of the year in every sense, I feel. Followed by February, which is definitely the shortest and nicest, so I'm looking forward to it. But I don't think there's many games in Feb. I think this is kind of like the holding pen for March, which is where things really get going. But maybe you'll prove me wrong this week with the new games.
It's not too bad. I mean, there's some cool stuff happening. I mean, the Division 2 is getting its next-gen update this week, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
The PS Plus lineup looks fucking great.
That's true,
That's
you know.
good.
That's true, yeah.
I think even Games with Gold's pretty good for Xbox this Feb as well.
What's on that?
Gears 5 is on there.
Nice.
Resident Evil Remake HD. Someone else.
Oh, nice.
I think it was like, because they tried to do the price hike thing and then immediately backed down from it. I think that was like trying to be a peace offering, but didn't quite work anyway.
That was the most disturbing, a parent with spoiled kids trying to keep their spoiled kids happy vibe from the tweet that they did. I mean, I'm not commenting on what they've done. I just mean the tweet and the way it was like, all we've ever wanted to do is all
we've done it for you.
Yes, exactly.
One day this will be yours.
Jesus
It did
Christ.
seem like stupidly expensive, especially for what Xbox Live Gold is.
Yeah,
it's
but
so
it was
stupid.
Strange
Yeah.
situation.
Guess they were trying to get people to convert it to Game Pass instead or something. I don't know, because you get Live included if you go for Ultimate.
Yeah. So it's a value proposition all of a sudden. But of course, I've had all the big brains on my Twitter timeline were saying, well, it's clearly that they just did that, so everyone would kick off and then they'd immediately revert it back and then they'd look like the good guys. Well, it's not working on me. Sorry, Xbox. I actually just think it was just some really stupid decision.
But they already look good. I mean, so they didn't need to do it. That's like that's an insane. That's a ridiculous theory. I think So Xbox Gold cost, what was it? It was like 40 quid or something. I don't know what was it.
Something like that, yeah.
And then they
for a year, not a month.
Yeah, of course. And then they ramped it up by quite a bit.
Doubled it.
Yeah. And then immediately put a tweet out saying, all we've done is think about you guys, and we didn't want to upset you. And me and your mum have had a chat, and we've decided to reduce the price back. So
we're still going to Disneyland.
We're still going to Disneyland. Yeah, we can have some pizza tonight. Don't worry. Please.
And, yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. So, I guess that was some weird news to start things off. Which I think came off the back of some news that Xbox Game Pass is currently on the trajectory of about 1 million new users a month, which if they keep that up is completely crazy. So that mixed with the fact that they were just planning on doubling it was probably just being a bit greedy, wasn't it? But 1 million new users a month is really cool. Game Pass is one of those things where it's like fast becoming, even amongst like friends of mine who aren't really like super duper invested in things like this and staying up to date with all these games. It's becoming a thing where I know more people now that have it than don't, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the PC offering as well.
Yeah.
So it is good value and, it speaks for itself. I mean, I think the games that we played this week, a lot of them are Game Pass games. So, that's what happens when you got that like nice buffet of stuff being added.
Yeah. Well, one of the Game Pass games this week was The Medium.
Oh, yeah, which I think, is that the first new...
The first Xbox next-gen exclusive, I think. As in, it's not on like Xbox One or Xbox One S or Xbox One X.
Right.
It's only on Series S, Series X, PC, I think.
And not on PlayStation.
Yeah, no PlayStation. Microsoft exclusive.
So you guys have both played it?
Yep, I finished it.
How was
it? It's all right. But for me, the entire thing felt like it kept falling short of greatness, I guess. Like, it has all the right bits to make a great game, but they don't really come together to make a compelling final product. Like, it's made by Bloober Team, who they made like Layers of Fear, Observation, Blair Witch, all games which had like great idea, great atmosphere, great sound design, but then just misses the mark at the end. Like, Layers of Fear just felt like unrealised potential, so did Observer to me, and Blair Witch was just a dumpster fire to me. But yeah, like the Medium, they're trying something different because they're all their last games are like, you know, first person, walking around the spooky place while a monster chases you every now and then, and you have to solve a puzzle. But the Medium, they went for a third person, fixed camera angle, like old school style survival horror type game, like tank controls and everything.
So Liam at this point was on the intrigue scale, should be about an 8 out of 10. Fixed cameras, we hear him say.
Tank
Does
controls?
he have to get an exactly?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like the start of the Medium is pretty good. Like, you start out as a woman called Marianne, and she's like got this weird connection to the underworld, and she can exist in both the underworld and the real world at the same time. And that's the whole like gimmick of the game, is like you can operate in two realities at the same time. It's like, and you know, it's like, so half the screen.
Let's go, Soul Reaver.
A little bit Soul Reaver, yeah, where like half the screen will be like you in the spirit world, and it's like inspired by some Polish artist. Like, his art style is like all like fungus looking and like flesh and decaying bones and everything, and then just like the normal world on the other half of the screen. But yeah, it's like it's the whole game is like you get called by a mysterious man on the phone to go investigate this old Soviet era hotel in Poland where it was the site of some like massacre, and you're just trying to like ease spirits from the place and discover like the mystery behind the massacre and everything. But yeah, and that's just like the setup of the story. Like, it's got a great atmosphere, great visuals,
really
great sound design, and the music is really good because half of it was done by Akira Yamamoto, who did Silent Hill's music. So like, but everything else about the game is just like a bit clunky, bit like buggy, doesn't really come together. The writing sort of like shits the bed towards the end of the game, where it starts out as like this really interesting premise, and then it quickly just devolves into a lot of like disparate plot threads that barely connect together, and the game really just like does not commit to an ending, which when the game is this like story focused, because there's no like combat or anything in the game, or there is, but well, combat, but air quotes around that. But it's it's just like, it's disappointing more than anything. Like, because I started playing this game and I was really into it at first, but then by the end, and I kept pushing through because I wanted to see how this like story is going to wrap up and like how the game is going to come to its conclusion, and it just did nothing with any of it. Like, it has this great premise that goes nowhere. It has this like great atmosphere, and that just like gets wildly underused to the point where it just becomes, by the end, probably by like the halfway point of the game, it becomes like yet another sort of generic stealth puzzles running away from monsters game, you know, just sort of like falls in with Outlast and all them sort of games where it's just, I've got to run away from the monster, if it catches me I die, but then all I do is restart a checkpoint and like just walk around it again. It's like there's no like stakes or consequences to anything. The puzzles are like barely even puzzles, to be honest. Like, most of them, it's literally like you pick up an item, you rotate it, and it'll go, oh, this is what I'm meant to do, and then you just take the item back to where you found it and fit it into like a slot, and that's the puzzle. It's just, it's like, you're
talking about the Resident Evil 8 demo, or
well, that's the thing. Like, the Medium borrows all its like key moments from other horror like bits of media. Like, there's a scene in the beginning that's literally just like a recreation of the projector scene from It, like in the first hour of the game. Some of the puzzles are like ripped directly out of like Resident Evil 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then
to me, it is like that. It's like a collection of inspirations put together, but I think they're missing like the real heart of what makes a horror game good. And I think I know what it is. I think I cracked the secret code. Yeah, and here's what it does wrong. This is, and I don't know. I think I'm right. Resident Evil has it. Resident Evil 8 demo, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but this doesn't. When you're talking about like survival horror and things like that, yeah, you normally, survival is the key word, isn't it? Or something like that. And it means that, like, think about Resident Evil 2. Let's think about the Resident Evil 2 remake in a minute. What you do in that game is loads of tiny, and same with Dead Space, loads of tiny, very, very easy to achieve little goals. Yeah, it's kind of how Stardew Valley does things day at a time, really, really easy, achievable things. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a massive world where you go and you stir some chilies in a pot and you go to the. But with all this, it's all really like it puts blinders on you, and it's like your mission for the next 50 minutes is to survive. Then you need to get to the lab. It gives you these little urgent, very, very quick to achieve tasks, but it keeps you engaged and it gets you all the way through. And that's why I think these horror games are such a roller coaster ride when they're going through. Every little thing is like in Resident Evil 7, when Jackson in that area with you, you've got a very quick, immediate goal of getting out. But with this, it just still seems like there's nothing that immediate about it, yeah? So it doesn't give you that, like, bit by bit by bit, because that's what I think horror games do better than anything else. It's like, it lights a fire under your ass. Normally, you're getting from A to B quickly, because you're not going around trying to fucking slay 5 wild boars. You're rushing because there's a fucking unstoppable monster chasing you, which it kind of like Amnesia and Outlast do it, but it doesn't add that real like urgency to the story, and that's what the medium could have got. It could have had that, but it feels like a lot of it is like investigative bits, and it takes away. It's completely contradictory to this like moment to moment survival thing and pushing the game forward. So it loses momentum. Yeah. And then it gains it too quickly, and then it loses it again. But it's not really a very fluid thing. But if you think about games like Resident Evil, you always know very simply like what you're doing. And I was trying to figure out why I like Dead Space so much, because I hadn't played it all the way through until recently, and I think that's what I like. There's always like a little mini bit.
I think Dead Space that might be controversial, but does what you're talking about a little bit better than Resident Evil because it is very like. There are bits in Resident Evil where you're like you're in an area and you're shuffling through drawers and finding keys.
Yeah.
But Dead Space is almost always you got to go and switch this thing off, and it's over there at the other side of this corridor. Go now, and the corridor's really scary, and you get through, you switch it off, and then something else happens where there's a giant hole in the side of the spaceship, and you get blasted out, and you're going to get back into the spaceship as quickly as you can.
It's just constant urgency, isn't it? Whereas, Resident Evil, it almost seems like it's a little bit more thought out, though. Those open areas where you're like, okay, now it's time to turn my brain on.
Yeah,
turn the adrenaline gland down, turn the brain on. But it feels like respite because you've had so many bits of urgency. But the medium's got too much of that. So you're never really in like the that mode. I think.
Yeah, there's bits of the medium where it'll like everything will like it like the current plot thread you're on. It'll like start bringing it to bringing it to the boil. You think right, shit's gonna get real now. And then it usually gets resolved by like a 5-minute cutscene of just the main character talking to whatever spirit she's discovered and then saying, I banish you. And that's how pretty much everything in the game resolves. Like,
yeah.
And
like, it's just like an episode of Charmed.
Haunted House on Netflix.
And it's just like, there are moments in the game where you have to like hide from this big demon who's literally like patrolling about and like, shouting shit like he wants to wear your skin and stuff like that, because of course it does. I will actually say the demon is voiced by Troy Baker, apparently, the demon, and he does actually a really good job of being quite creepy. But that's the thing, is like the medium it's a horror game that has a very big lack of horror in it. I'd say it's more like a psychological thriller than anything else, because like it's not really scary. There's not really I suppose like some themes of the story are a bit disturbing, but because of how like badly the game handles those themes, it comes across as like just a bit like trying to be mature and edgy rather than handling themes quite well.
Are there many games where there's somebody who has that sort of clairvoyancy or the ability to, because you always hear about, when you just think of like a medium, you always know that like a medium is somebody who says that they can connect to spirits, and a lot of the time when you're watching these ghost programs or whatever, and this and that, they say that they can see things. So the idea to visualize that realm like an on and off switch, like the movie Insidious, right? Because what is the name, Elise in it? The older woman, yeah? And she goes into that sort of thing and whatever, and that kids can do it in this. I think that's a really cool idea in a game because, Legacy of Kain, right? It's a landmark title, amazing, and very fucking overlooked these days. But that wasn't like that, was it? You were in between different planes.
You had to switch between the two, whereas in the medium, they both happen at the same time. You're controlling the character in both worlds at the same time.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept, right? And I think that
it is,
it's probably something that might be powered by the next gen, the ability to have both the worlds.
I think they've even tried to pattern it, like the idea of like having both worlds rendered at the same time, but it is sadly purely a gimmick. It doesn't. They don't do anything really interesting with the whole idea of having two worlds at the same time. Apart from there's some puzzles where you have to separate from your physical body, and you can walk around the spirit realm for a limited time before you have to return to your body or you fade away to solve a puzzle. But the whole thing about being it has to be next gen exclusive to have this dual reality thing, I think is more just because the game runs like absolute shit. So you have to brute force it to even get it to work.
So I saw that even on 3080s, which is for new graphics cards, if people don't know about the PC stuff, it can't run on high settings, right? Even with 3080, because.
Yeah, a 3080 can't run it on high on 1080p at 60 FPS with all the ray tracing stuff turned off as well. It's it is a kind of a mess of this game on PC.
I was playing it on the Series S, and it was really smooth and nice, I've got to say. But I don't know what limitations that was, dealing with.
I played it on PC, and I was running it at 1440p on medium settings.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just the inconsistency. I even turned a frame rate counter on at one point, and it'd be running at 90 FPS, and then you'd walk into the next scene, and because it's all fixed camera angles, you're changing scenes a lot. It's when I walked into the next, it would tank down to 15 frames per second. I'd walk back, and then this would be just in a forest clearing with nothing going on, literally just for character and trees, nothing going on apart from that. And then I could go into one of the dual reality sections where it's rendering the game twice, and I'd get 60 FPS. And then I'd go into another scene and it'd go down to 20, even though there was nothing going on the screen. And it's just so wildly inconsistent. And I think it's something to do with people think it might be something to do with how the game loads in textures and stuff, because it just stutters all the time. The game, micro stutter. The game just, on PC anyway, it stutters all the time. And I was playing it off an NVMe SSD, so a super fast SSD, but the game's just it would stutter every time I walked into a new scene. But because of the fixed camera angles, that happens all the time. It's every 5 seconds, the game just starts stuttering, becomes a bit of an unplayable mess, and it is a bit broken on PC at the minute, no matter what hardware you have. It's you can't even really brute force your way past it. And the game, it is a good looking game, but it's not good looking enough that I don't see why a 3080 couldn't power through it. It's not that good looking. It doesn't look as good as the Resident Evil 8 demo does.
It certainly doesn't.
And we should move on to that ASC.
Well, I'll just say quickly, medium, great potential, doesn't really get realised. 5 out of 10. There you go.
Get it on the box. So Resident Evil demo, very very related. So I guess this all of a sudden is turning into a horror game.
Good, fucking
podcast.
good. Yeah.
So the Resident Evil 8 demo was released. It was over a week ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was after the showcase, which was
21st or something.
Yes. Yeah, 21st.
And it's on what platforms, guys? Do you know? Because I played it on
PlayStation 5. I think that's it for now.
Right.
Yeah, the demo's PS5 only, but the actual full game is on everything. It's on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, and Xbox One.
Well, it's really short. I mean, it's only like, I don't know, for like 15, 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, and that's if you take your time.
Pretty sure that's the same as the other one, isn't it? That they did for Resident 7 Kitchen. I remember that being like the same, but like you went in it again,
and they kept patching that one, which is weird. They kept adding stuff to it.
Oh right, that's
yeah, they did. They added the items.
Beginning
and they added. Yeah,
they started they added an axe, so you could like try out melee combat, even though there was no enemies in the game. And then they added a gun, so you could shoot a gun, but there was no enemies in the demo.
That's cool. I like that they're messing around with that. But I like this. I like the idea of just giving you like a little blast of the fucking feel of it. You know what I mean? You don't. What you're learning from it, really? Not. I mean, there's detail. And it looks amazing. Yeah. There's one bit in particular where the kind of lighting and stuff is really. It feels pretty with HDR and stuff. It feels pretty good. Like it really promises.
Oh yeah, it's the best HDR I've seen in a game yet.
Yeah, but I wouldn't argue with that. Really, it's definitely something. But I like the idea. I like the idea that they just take a really small little piece of the game near the beginning. I'm assuming
it's not even part of the game, is it? That's the thing.
No, this is completely its own thing.
Surely the environment.
Oh yeah, it will be the same environment, but I mean, it's this is the same as like how Kitchen was, wasn't it? Where you were playing like a prequel. You were playing the story of somebody that got there first. So in this, you're not playing. Like, you won't play this. You won't be like an escaped bit of cattle. Whatever. I think
it might be a note in the game somewhere to read about or something.
Yeah. I think you are playing as the eponymous Maiden. I think in the Maiden demo. But yes.
Wow.
So I guess
there's even a note in it that says for demo takes place in 1958.
Mm-hmm. So
but the full game takes place in 2020.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how much that house has rotted over time, then, shall we?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They take a small kind of. They just give you like a sliver of what they've been working on, and make it its own thing, I guess. And then just so you get like a sense of the atmosphere, and maybe a scary introduction to a couple of key characters, and that's it. You don't know too much more now having played it than you could just from reading some fucking press release and Wikipedia article type shit,
But you feel it.
You feel it, and you've seen it. And you've picked up some stuff, rotated it, taken the thing out of it, and put it in a slot that opens a door. You can only do that in these games.
Absolutely,
that's the kind of raw thrill that you get from these games. But it made me jump a couple of times.
The bit that got me was. I thought I was being like super stealthy, and I was like sneaking along a corridor, and then you just hear a voice go, "I'm watching you," I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I was
yeah.
So that's exactly it. So it's that typical return to Resident Evil 7 type thing where the game received some criticism when it came out because of the like quote unquote scripted jump scares that you can't get out of. So. Yeah. Even though these games are kind of like a lot of games since Amnesia have been this kind of thing where it's like a AI anecdote tour de force with Alien Isolation, of course, is like a really good example of it. But in a sense, and loads of other games have done it where, like, even like with the whole Mr. X thing from Resi 2, and I guess to some degree Jack and that lot from Resi 7.
Yeah,
but this, you hit the same jump scares that I did at exactly the same time. Like Resident 7, I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I think that adds to like the cinematic quality to the game, and like these games are like silly little films. I think, especially the newer ones. I mean, so I haven't got any problem with it at all. Like I'm kind of glad in a way that you both got the same scare at the same time. So I'm like, oh, what about this bit and this bit, rather than like, maybe you missed something. But I heard that same bit is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I heard that exact same thing, and I don't know if we were in the exact same place, but I was just walking down the stairs, so I don't know if that's something similar.
Me too. Stairs.
Yeah,
That's
I think it's that. No matter what.
But the game was like full of dread for me because in the trailer they show you the area that you start at with some bad guys in it. And then, the game was clever at just like doing little silly things to make you scared. So like, you're in this like basement with loads of clanky little chains and it's completely stone basement. So then you hear, when you're on one end of the corridor, you hear like this kind of dampened rattle on the other end of the corridor. And then you realize you've got to go down there. So you go down there, of course, there's nothing there, but you heard something. So what could it be? And it's just little clever things like this that it's like, I don't know how much of it's. I don't think it's me jumping up Resident Evil's arse, but it's just like, if it was another game that did that, I don't know why I'd be so impressed. But a way that it does stuff like this is really cool. And the way that another thing I like is like the game tells you exactly what's going to happen, exactly how it's going to happen in a note in the basement. It's like, when you see this, go and do this. When you go in this, but make sure that they don't see you. So you're going up this one bit, and you'll get into the part where the note said, make sure they don't see you. And then you hear them talking. So in your head, you're like, this is them, this is the bit. So, and then I'm sneaking, and then I go dead slowly, right? And then I peek my head over the lap. No one's there. But of course I did that because the note told me, and it's clever because it knew I was going to do that, and it purposely didn't show me anything. And it's just really good like that. I think it's fucking cool. I really love this half of a Resident Evil playthrough. Because at one point my brain just goes, I'm fucking sick of this. I'm shotgunning every fucking person in front of me.
Well, that's what I love about Resident Evil games. Like, you start the game out like on the run, you've got no ammo, you feel like everything's against you, that you're just gonna be killed in how many horrible ways. But then by the end of the game, you're like, I'm sick of this shit.
Grenade launcher.
Yeah, I'm gonna grenade everything. I'm gonna blow up this lab and throw like shotgun shells at everyone. It's great. That's what I love about Resident Evil.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I'm kind of relishing in the fact that I'm a scared little bitch, being chased by feminine vampires with weird, dirty faces for some reason, and I am. I'm looking forward to plowing them down. I'm sure. Well, I met with a gun, but the thing is, that this big tall vampire bitch, you're gonna blow her open with a shotgun, and there's gonna be some body horror. Is she gonna be full of cockroaches or tentacles? You don't know. All I know is she's gonna mutate to some huge body horror degree and start skittering around after me at one point, and everyone on the internet who's loving sexy vampire lady is gonna feel weird, and I'm glad. You should feel weird. She's a video game, lads. But I think that it's interesting. It's very interesting. Wasn't there some news story about the first vamp lady that you see, the one that manifests out of loads of bats and beats you up a little bit? Yeah. She died, I think.
Yeah, in real life. The voice actress in real life passed away. Yeah.
Is it her?
Yeah. One of the sisters. But I really liked it. What do you guys think of the setting, the mansion?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
I'm super into it.
Dungeon's really good. I think the whole idea of it was exciting from the teaser, just like trailer from the very beginning, wasn't it? It was seeing this setting and then realizing it was Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
Well, it's what I like. Right? So like the mansion seems quite sizable, and I love, by the way, that you crawl through like in between the wall tunnels in a really cool way. I think that was good. And it looks really big. The full game could be in there, then you'd probably go into a basement and then a lab or something. But from the trailers that you get to explore like pretty much the whole town. So I'm really interested to know. And it doesn't matter if it is, because I know all games are about bigger and better these days and stuff. How big is the map going to be? Because Resi 7 was fairly big, but it had quite a lot of verticality. You went down a lot of stairs and levels or up, and then it had a separate area. I won't say in case people haven't played it, but I think with this, it looks like it could be a really big map. Based on the trailer, like it does show you this village, and then with this Manchester thing, and then in the demo, you get to look out the window, don't you? Which is only a little glimpse. Yeah, but and so you can imagine. So I wonder how big this map will be.
Well, I mean, they do it with Resident Evil 3 pretty neatly, don't they? Like it feels like a kind of open. It feels like you're in
yeah.
a city, but it's not. It's not really huge levels or anything, is it? But it gives you that sense all the same, and it'll probably be the same kind of thing when it'll be like a fucking butcher shop, butchers and a fucking blacksmith and all that kind of stuff. Won't it? And,
Yeah,
it'll be good. It'll be
Yeah.
good. This
I wonder if it'll be like Resident Evil 4, where it's like the first part of the game is like the village, but then the second part of the game is you move into the castle, and then there's going to be something beyond the castle where the main villain's going to be, and then of course there's going to be a secret lab somewhere because it's Resident Evil. So
I'd bet that. I'd bet heavily. Just the fact that it's at the top of a hill and then there's woods down the bottom of the hill. You know that you're going to arrive in them woods and work your way up, right? I'm pretty confident.
So it would be pretty interesting if they just flipped it all around and you started in a castle and then ended up in the fucking woods, wouldn't it? That'd be a bit better.
You know what? Yeah, it would be really good. But I'm loving the setting for this as well. Like I like European folklore, and then you got this whole kind of like, don't call it Bathory, but Elizabeth Bathory kind of style. Way that the women are treated like cattle, and the blood to keep people young, and then I think there was werewolves in the first trailer and stuff like that, but we didn't get a sniff of them in this demo. So do you know what? Yeah, this is like not even close. Like easily the most anticipated game for me this year. Like I really think it's going to. I think Resi 7 was almost robbed in a way when it came out, because it came out in January, and then loads of games had a chance to impress people. But the fact that it's launching a little bit closer to the end of the year, but I definitely think it'll be a game of the year contender, because like they've done really well with the Resi series for the past couple of years, and man, I'm excited. The demo was good, got me excited.
Yeah.
All right, let's do an email then. If you want to send us in an email, the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. We've had quite a few, but I think there's quite a long one here about like achievements, like popping achievements, which is pretty good. So this email is from Severin Grunwald in Germany, who likes to listen while they're doing housework or taking a dog for a walk.
Oh, nice.
And is a mechanic for a railway company. Nice one. Good details.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you.
So he says, I think we can all agree on the fact that 2020 wasn't the best year, but it was also the year where I finally overcame one of my worst habits, and that's achievement hunting. I bought an Xbox 360 with Halo 3 back in 2007. After a while, I was getting addicted to the bleep bloop when the achievement popped up and the rush of dopamine running through my brain. In the following years, I ended up grinding and doing tedious bullshit just to get the achievements on games from almost any genre. One of the biggest problems was that it sometimes took me several months to finish one game, which made my backlog of games grow tremendously. But there are also good things to say about achievements. Sometimes they brought my attention to mechanics that I didn't know existed, put me through several challenging but rewarding playstyles, and forced me to play multiplayer modes I enjoyed in the end that I otherwise would have skipped. I continued to play this way until Death Stranding. Nowadays, I usually refuse to buy games on launch due to the high price, but Death Stranding caught my attention because of the mixed reviews, which is pretty interesting. Bought it because of the mixed reviews. So I decided to buy the game on launch and resell it as soon as I'm done with it. Good man. The problem was that I only considered myself done with it when I have unlocked all the trophies. Sadly, this turned this enjoyable 30-hour game into a 140-hour tedious nightmare. I learned to hate the game. Since then, I started only collecting all achievements when I'm really liking the game or when it is pretty easy to get them all. With my new approach, I was able to finish 30-plus games last year across Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation, and wasted far less time in tedious grinding. And I finish games before I start to hate them. Do you guys have any bad habits in games that make your experience worse? Kind regards, Severin.
Yes. I used to be the exact same, where I had to 100% every game I played nearly, like especially on 360. I had to get 1000 G in every game I played. I quickly dropped that one though, but it still haunts me a tiny bit to this day, where I've got this weird thing where I have to get over 50% of the achievements or trophies in a game before I'll consider myself done with it. So like,
yeah.
Okay.
Say if I finish a game and it says I've got like 42% of the trophies unlocked, I will go after other trophies until it goes over 50, because then I feel like I've got as much as I can out of the game that I'm willing to.
Yeah.
If I see 42%, yeah, I'm like, fucking hell, I've done all right there.
Yeah, like
that's a big
Like,
thumbs up. 42%.
I think that's what I played through Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition recently on the PS5, and I think that trophy thing might be why I went and played it 3 times, because the trophies are really hard to get in Devil May Cry, just because they're like, it's like, because there's like 7 different difficulties in the game, and it's like getting all S ranks on the levels and stuff like that, and so they're quite hard to get and time consuming, because literally like you have to play through the game on each difficulty to get one trophy. It's not like if you play it on hard, you'll unlock the trophies for medium and easy as well. Like you have to do a separate playthrough for all of them. But yeah, just like, but like on the upside of that, I get more value out of my games, I think, just because like it encourages me to go and do things, like the email saying, like things I might not have explored before, or like in Devil May Cry's case, like it might have been like a character I might not have played through the game as before, but I ended up loving it because of it, is one of the upsides.
I don't really feel the need to get achievements, but I've got this which makes it then even more weird that I tried to collate all my games on the PlayStation, so it will all go towards my eventual trophy count. Although I'm not really that into it. I don't think I got many platinums at all. The only one I got recently that was like weird and maybe undeserved was the fucking Astro Bot or whatever. I did Demon Souls because I loved them, and I loved the idea of doing getting everything in it. So that's I think probably what the platinum trophies are there for, in it, for people who are like really into the game and really want to explore the different sides of it. So.
Well, it's long term, and some of like the Ubisoft game, people are like Assassin's Creed.
Wow,
designed to just be hammered.
Well, you know what? It just kind of popped up on my Twitter yesterday. Oh no, it might have been this morning, literally before this podcast. A friend of mine just got the silver trophy on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, something to do with doing all the quests in England or something, and it took 140 hours just for that trophy, silver trophy. And
it's essentially making a single-player game, multiplayer game, in terms of the way that you can just keep coming back and playing it, even though you've already, maybe you haven't finished the story, but it just gives you a single-player game, the kind of longevity that. But I've been playing Battlefield 5 this week. I probably played that for like 100 hours since it's come out, but it just doesn't feel like it because every game's a new multiplayer game, and you're not thinking about reaching an end. You're just playing a multiplayer game. So it's the same. This is their corporate kind of you can see the meetings like 10 years ago saying, how do we get players? How do we get gamers engaged for as long as they are engaged in multiplayer games?
It really works though, It does,
I was just going to say, as someone who has got the platinum trophy in Battlefield 5, don't do it, because it does drain all the fun out of the game.
I'm not gonna. Don't worry.
Don't know why I did it, but I did. And
I've only got this one trophy or 2 trophies left to get, and both of them involve planes. So I'm like, nah, you're all right.
Yeah, they're the worst ones.
I had, but yeah, it's really worked. Like the coins have really done a number on me, because if I get the option to buy a game on PC, Switch, or PlayStation, I get it on PlayStation. And the funny thing is, I work in this room that the people who listen to the video version of this podcast can see me in, this very attic. I am here 8 hours a day. And then when I'm not there, I'm normally in my bedroom, which is where my Switch is, or my Xbox. The only room I'm not in the house more than like an hour a day these days is downstairs where my PlayStation lives. But I still get it, because I think, you know what, it'll go towards the trophy count. But it's a trophy count I'm not even that bothered about, because I'm not like, I don't even do the 50% like Liam. I'm a worm. So it's interesting, that, isn't it? But maybe it's also because that's my little library, not Steam. A lot of people, it's a Steam library. For me, my PlayStation library is bigger than my Steam library. So I just don't know, just psychologically fucking done a number on me, hasn't it? Here I am.
Yeah, that's what it's there for, isn't it? Really, I mean, there was probably a brief window in the Xbox 360 period where it was just fun. But then before you know it, just like it's
I can say I've never bought like one of those games where it's like you can get all 1,000 G of achievements in like 2 seconds. I've never gone that far as as like achievement hunting goes.
Somebody in my day job, I work with content creators, yeah, and then I send out keys and this and that. And we announced Biomutant this week, and I got an influx of emails, and it always makes me laugh, right? The variety of emails I get, and I don't mean to call anybody out. But I got an email from somebody who, like, it was really weird. It was like their email to me was like, I've got the 11th highest gamer score in Wales, which is funny because Wales is a small country. Even more funny because unless I was from Wales, the chances of me giving a shit would be slim to none. And also 11th best is just funny. And then that is the reason that you want to get a review copy of a game. And so anyway, I thought, how does one become the 11th best gamer in Wales? So I went on the channel to see the games that they've been playing, and obviously they work very hard, and kudos to them. They're clearly very dedicated. But the point is, like, the games, the ilk of games that they were playing were literally those type, Liam, like Naruto, blah 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 blah, and like like Slime Raiders with a Z. Just games that just like you make up on an algorithm, but they've got a game score. It's just like I don't know. To me, it's like that's become like you're playing bargain bin games for the numbers. So it's like, but it's a weird sub thing. I'd love to see. I'd like to one day see a documentary about it. To be honest, I'd watch that. Not a proper documentary, but just a YouTube one. Do you know what I mean? Like one guy, not a video essay, but like a little documentary. Yes,
that's a very specific request. I'm sure. I'm sure
if you're listening, Jeno Samuel, get on with it.
Right. Thanks for the email, Severin. Perhaps we'll do one more.
Come on, treat them to another one.
Okay. Oh yeah, we sent out a load of Star Wars recommendations. We were talking about Star Wars and the idea that the license was available to any company now that wanted to make a Star Wars game. Because for 10 years it's been, EA is on a 10-year Star Wars contract. I don't know how long's left. Is it 2 years left or 1 year left or
something like that? Yeah.
So they were the only company who could make Star Wars games for a long time, and we didn't get many Star Wars games. So now the kind of floodgates are open and anyone can join the fun kind of thing. We have had a lot of suggestions for Star Wars games.
Thank you. Thank you for your service, everybody.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just read one out super quick. So this one's from Chris, who says, Dear Special Moves, this one's been brewing in my head for a while now, and I just need to put it out there. Okay, imagine this. Star Wars saber duels. Something like a mix of For Honor and Bushido Blade 2, where you fight 1v1 or 5v5 or something like that with lightsabers. You can choose your path, Jedi or Sith, and custom build your lightsaber and character and unlock skills and talents like Force Ghosts for distractions or lightning or Force pushes. Yeah, get a picture. Or it can pick up on your fighting styles. Like if you tend to throw your saber a lot, you can level that ability enough to use it like Alucard in Castlevania's Netflix series. Nice. But the main point is lightsaber fights. I think it'll be huge if it's done right. Thanks for the countless hours of entertainment and keep up the good work. Best regards, Chris.
Right, who's going to tell him?
What? Tell him what?
Chris, honey baby sweetie, let me tell you something. If you haven't played the Heroes vs. Villains mode of Star Wars Battlefront 2, have I got the mode for you? It is literally that. You can be Jedi or Sith. You play as the heroes. You can be Obi-Wan or Yoda or Darth Vader. It is literally lightsaber battles, duels. It's 5-on-5. If you want to just get better at force choking, you can level that up. You can level up the ability to throw lightsaber. What you're saying exists as a mode in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
If you want to be Lando Calrissian and throw a little smoke grenade out, you can do that.
If you want to be like some of the side characters, like the tall one from Game of Thrones in what's her character?
Phasma.
Phasma. If you want to be Captain Phasma, you can be. But that exists, and you know what? I spent loads of time playing that when I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 last year.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's a good mode, but if you don't disregard it because it's like a little sub mode of the game. It's good. It's basically.
I know what you mean. I know what it means though, where you play something like For Honor, where it's it's not just like waving the sword around, is it? There's a detail to the melee combat that is perhaps missing from the Star Wars Battle.
The very floaty.
Yeah.
But it is that, but it is that, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it is that.
If it was that kind of setup, but you had a more robust like melee combat system, then you're getting there. This one is on the same topic, I guess. This is from Timothy Wilkinson, who says, "Hey gamers, I've been living in Galicia in the top left corner of Spain for 28 years. Well, that's nice. You don't sound Spanish, Timothy, so I'm assuming you moved there. I've followed you guys since your times with Divinity Original Sin 2, which made me buy it and think that it was probably one of the best games I've ever played. So thanks for that.
All right.
I'm an English teacher here in my town, but I still love gaming. I've been listening to your podcast, especially in the gym, where I get some funny looks when you guys make me laugh. Now, as we can't go to the gym, I put your podcast in the background of my English class, and my students love it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
In school, guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Take maths seriously. I didn't take maths seriously, and I really regret it.
Same. I did.
I didn't take school seriously. Look at me, guys. You don't want to be like this. Well, you can't look at me probably because you're on in the background. Yeah. Listen to Mr. Tim.
And Jake's doing all right. He's sitting on a very expensive chair, so don't.
This is just sheer power, though, isn't it?
Don't worry about it. It's doing all right. This week, you were talking about the Division 2. We were talking about it because that is what happens to be. One of the games that is, massive entertainment. The developers of the Division 2 were kind of tipped as one of the ones to make a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
This week you were talking about the Division 2, and I really enjoy it. I'm a sucker for co-op games, and I love games that let me play with my friends back home. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I do hope the Division doesn't disappear because there isn't a lot of good co-op games out there. And even though I enjoy single-player games, nothing quite matches playing through a game with your mates. Right. Thanks for doing the podcast and bringing a piece of home to me. Off to Patreon, you guys deserve it. Well, thank you, Timothy Wilkinson.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and you're quite right. In that there's a good feeling about co-op games with your mates, especially if your mates are in one country and you're in another, right? That's and well, even if not these days, because of the pandemic, keeping everybody in their own houses. But there's that. But I guess he's come at the right time with this email, right? Because of what's happening next week. Yeah.
So the Division 2 next gen patch, as we mentioned, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely been one of the games on my list that I haven't actually installed on my PS5 yet, because even though I like the Division, because I was kind of waiting for the patch, and The Witcher 3, although I'm going to be waiting a long time for that, I think now, but I'm waiting for The Witcher 3 to get its next gen patch, and so I'm really happy that this is happening so soon. To be honest, I wasn't expecting it to get an update. Liam, you've been playing it recently.
I have, yeah. Because weirdly, it was part of the Resident Evil showcase as well, where they're doing a crossover event where if you play it from February, you get exclusive Resident Evil items in Division 2 for whatever reason. But yeah, so I reinstalled it because I invested in a brand new SSD for my computer, a nice shiny fast one, blazing fast, puts the PS5 to shame in how fast it is. But PS5
they're fucking paying you for this, mate.
I've got the box right here. I could if I wanted to.
Thanks to Aldi for sending it us as well.
Oh no! I wish it was Aldi prices. Jesus Christ! I as much as I love this SSD, the cost of it still hurts a little bit. But yeah. So anyway, I installed the Division 2 on my new super fast SSD, and loads very fast. By the way, it's beautiful. Goes straight to 99%.
Is this a Donald Trump rally? What is this? Donald Trump rally
for PC hardware.
I'm very sad right now.
Believe me.
Hey, I love my PS5. But anyway, so yeah, Division 2, and yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Sleepy PS5.
Please do not compare me to that disgusting human being. But yeah, so Division 2 is a lot of fun. I got it when it first came out, back in 2019 or whenever it was. And yeah, I played through it quite a bit and then just sort of dropped it because I think there was just other games that came out. Yeah. So yeah, I reinstalled it the other day and I'm having a lot of fun with it, to be fair. I played it, I think it was, I want to say a Thursday, Friday, I think.
Yeah.
And I just played it all morning, from 9 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. and I had a really good time with it. Like the gun, I forgot how good how much I like the gunplay and the shooting in it. It's like it's really satisfying. There's no greater feeling than sneaking up on a crowd of enemies and then just hiding yourself behind a wall and then unloading with an LMG into like this crowd of enemies. Sounds
I love
psychotic.
The Division 2 just brings us out in people though, so you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, Division 2 shooting is like my equivalent of when Mike says he loves shooting people in the head in Destiny.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the game, as far as like live service games go as well, I have to say the Division 2 is probably the smoothest of when you log back in after like being away for ages. Like I remember when Destiny 2 got its next gen update, I booted it up on PS5. It was just like bombardment of tutorials and like here's the seasonal stuff you missed out on. Here's like all these different playlists that you can now play, and it was just like it was so overwhelming to the point I was like, I can't be bothered. Whereas with Division, I logged in, it was like, here's some stuff that's happened, but it's over here if you want it. And then it just let me carry on with what I was doing 2 years ago. And that's what I like about The Division, because it works well enough as a single-player game as well as an online game that I kind of forget it does actually have online elements sometimes until I like see another player like running around in the safe house and stuff like that. It's like... Great
environment design and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And some of the... Go on, Jake, sorry.
I was just going to say, you know, so Liam, you've been playing it on PC, right? You know, the PlayStation 5 version. Is that just literally to match the levels of the console version instead of PC version? Or is it also going to be adding new stuff for like PC players? Do you know?
I don't know. Because like, I know Division 2 they still do like their seasonal updates where you get like new missions and stuff like that. And there's the Dark Zone as well, which is like, you know, the PvP bit, which is still going. But as far as I know, like, you know, because like every live service game has got like their State of the Union type, you know, like Avengers has got its war table, Destiny's got whatever they call their like update chats and streams. Division does have that, but I don't know if this update is adding any new content or if it is just like a technical boost to like, because I think all they've said so far is it'll be like 4K 60 FPS on PS5 and Xbox Series. Great. So I think it's literally just like bumping it up to be like parity with PC feature levels. Yeah, I don't know if they're adding any more.
So essentially you're basically playing it at the level it already is going to be.
Yeah. So they'll just like bump all the graphical settings up and get it running nice. But the only new stuff I know they're adding for sure is the Resident Evil stuff. But that's literally just costumes as far as I know. But yeah,
cool.
Like Division 2,
get the
really
PC
fun.
experience. Yeah, I'm into that. I might install it. It's probably gonna be about 700 fucking gig though, isn't it?
70 gig, I think it is. At least it is on PC.
Yeah, I've actually got it on PlayStation, so I downloaded it on there. But I wouldn't buy it again. I don't think. I don't know because I just haven't played it.
It goes
yeah. It's pretty cheap, but
it goes on sale all the time. all the time as well for like £3.
Really, that cheap?
It goes cheap. I remember, but just before Warlords of New York came out, there were some places online selling it for like £4.50 and stuff like that.
Crazy. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And so that's this week, I guess, which is new game.
Yeah, 2nd of February, so it's Tuesday. So it's pretty cool. Right, I've got to get going in a minute, actually. So let's do the new games. For this week. First up is Cultist Simulator. That's coming to Nintendo Switch on the 2nd of February. Have you guys heard of this? Or
I have. Yeah, it's been out on PC for a while, hasn't it? Is it a card game?
Yeah, it is. It is some sort of card game. I think it's made by Fairweather or something like that. Weather Factory, maybe. I don't know what they're called, but yeah. It seems fairly interesting. Not as cool as the name implies, though, I'm afraid.
Good day on Tuesday. So Division 2 is getting the update, as we've already just discussed. And then Destruction All-Stars is coming to PS5 as well, which is the PS Plus game for PS5, the PS5, next-gen exclusive PS Plus game.
Yeah.
Destruction All-Stars. And I've been looking forward to this. I mean, I was kind of considering it as like one of my launch...
It was originally pegged as a launch title, wasn't it, you see?
Yeah.
So... And it was delayed. So it's kind of like some sort of Vigilante 8 meets Twisted Metal, Rocket League, sportsy thing.
Yeah.
Looks slick, colours are nice, character models look cool and stuff like that. And it'll be free for people that have PlayStation Plus. So I reckon this will have a good week this week. You know, where everyone's trying to get used to it. It's not like Rocket League where you jump in now and you get absolutely fucking clattered by people who are like ridiculous. So
yeah, it's Rocket League is people are really, really fucking good at Rocket League, aren't they?
Right.
So so who knows if this will be the same kind of sensation, but it'll be it's just Sony published kind of first party PS5 exclusive, which is always good news. What we got next? We got Haven, which is coming to Nintendo Switch and PS4 on Thursday. That's February the 4th.
This is a indie RPG made by the people who made Fury, if you remember that game.
Yeah.
It's been out on next gen consoles for a little bit, I think, Haven and PC. I think it's just coming to more platforms now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is. It's got all right reviews. Kind of looks like a Breath of the Wild type Genshin Impact art style thing. 9 out of 10 on Steam. And then like 8s or 7s on a lot of the magazines. So there you go.
Then you've got Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. That's on the same day, Thursday.
Yep.
It's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Cyanide. The Cyanide kind of make these sort of AA feeling games, I guess, don't they?
This
Jake,
one's based... Huh?
You said yes a lot, so I guess that you're working on this.
I am certainly working on it, yeah. It's based on a tabletop RPG, although it's not anything to do with tabletop RPGs. I wish it was, but it's not. So, yeah, I've been playing it for about 4 or 5 days because I had to for work. That's it.
Thanks for your insight, Jake. And then on the Friday, February the 5th, you got a lot of Neo shit happening. You got Neo Remastered, the complete edition, coming to PS5. You got Neo 2, the complete edition, coming to PC and PS4. And you got Neo 2 Remastered, the complete edition, coming to PS5 as well.
So essentially, it's this. If you own Neo 2, you can get a free next-gen upgrade. Everyone gets the next-gen upgrade.
Nice.
Neo Remastered, you have to buy it. Or if you don't own any of them and you want it in one complete package, you can buy the Neo Remastered Collection, which is like in one box, blah, blah, blah. So it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, basically, if you own Neo 2, you get a nice upgrade. And if you want to experience Neo 1 in that same style, buy it. I am stupidly going to buy this.
Can you just explain what it is super quick for anyone?
Neo is a game which is a bit Souls-like. It's got a lot of Souls-like elements, but it is like made by, I guess, one of the originators of the really hard game, Team Ninja, who made the Ninja Gaiden games. And it's a game where you play as some really boring samurai called like William or something. And you're going around. It's level based rather than Dark Souls, where it's like an open world style thing. And you just go around battering demons and men and stuff with a series of weapons. The thing about it that's really interesting is this weapon system where your style is completely changed by the weapons that you use. The combat system for it is really cool and intricate and interesting without being super complicated like Astral Chain or something. So yeah, I really like the games, and I like the places it takes you. You know, like you get to see cool Japanese mythology realized in some ways.
I wish because it seems like something I would really enjoy, and I tried Neo 1, didn't even touch Neo 2.
I really like both of them. I think they're both great.
Yeah, I know you both of you guys keep talking about it in very positive light. So, maybe I should have another look at it. Thanks, everyone, for listening and for watching the 116th Special Moves podcast. Send your emails in to dearspecialmoves@gmail.com, and we'll have a read. And thanks for listening and watching 3 white guys with facial hair and glasses.
I hope you enjoy your next podcast, which is probably the same thing.
Yeah. Will I be wearing glasses? Will I not? Doesn't matter. Still basically the same thing.
We'll see you soon. Bye.